Ever since a young boy, I've been getting buckets. Ever since a young boy, I've been getting buckets. Pull it back, Kobe. Pull it back, Kobe. Switch. I don't even gotta look. I take a shot and hear it switch. I don't even touch the rim when I pull up. It's just switch. Backboard play. Only thing I know is switch. Pull it back, Kobe. Rest in peace to the mommy, baby GG.
Bro, it's 99, nigga.
Bro, it's knocked up, Billy Kobe. The freebie right after they tear Achilles. Number 8 was crazy, but 24 was scary. Respect his name, but LC might show up as. Don't forget the things he mentioned, how to get a Larry. Whatever necessary, he tried to help prepare me. They tell us never look in the eyes of a. I did it out respect for the greatest at Staples Center. The closest thing to MJ, and no, I ain't talking Thriller. It ain't an iron team, but a win, and please remember, man. Ever since a young boy, I've been getting buckets. Ever since a young boy, I've been getting buckets. Pull it back, Kobe. Pull it back.
Hey, look how many niggas is in here. There's mad niggas on here.
I don't even touch the rim when I pull up, it's just switch. Backboard play, only thing I know is switch. Pull it back, Kobe. Shot clock, let's get late. Sweat and hesitate, skate by like a figure 8. You have to dump bait, give me ball, can't wait. Catch a ball with the one finger, I'm really good, that's no 8. First time on the way, how I think I'm cold. Make a legend, I'm still ain't no question. 5-time champion in the 8.
I can put the ball in the end zone, put it in the end zone. So just give me that tempo. Told fool, get boo. Told her don't let them friends know. In the building, I'm moving like a dime. Even for the cheese, get Vincenzo's. Me and my amigos got that freak. West Coast, I'm talking about.
Mike, I know that a lot of players love making the dominant archetypes of NBA 2K and NBA 2K21. It seemed like it was the power forward. So, Mike, what do you think the dominant archetype will be for NBA 2K22?
That's a good question, because that's something that we're always trying to balance and tune, because we don't really want there to be one dominant archetype, right? So the power forward thing is fixed, and it's much more spread out in terms of the badges you get per position and heights and archetypes. But one thing we've really focused on was trying to make
2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
The borough of Brooklyn is the location for the Knicks. A polished game and a will to win. That's what R.J. Barrett brings to the table. His team will lean on his leadership as they get ready for the Battle of Manhattan versus Brooklyn at Barclays Center. Knicks, Nets, coming right up. Hello to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. Glad to have you with us for this special presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. Kevin Harlan here, and I'm joined. So a look at our starters for the Knicks. We've got Jay. Toppin is out there with Holmes. Then it's Barrett. And for the Nets, Kyrie Irving is out there with Harden. Then it's Mitchell Robinson. And it's Watanabe in at the 3 spot. For both teams tonight, Clark, unbelievable talent up front.
Agreed. And, you know, in the trenches, in the paint is where this one's going to be decided. It's going to be won or lost there. And that's not something we say very often in this day and age with the three-point shooting, the small ball, the spacing of the floor, the pick-and-roll action. It'll be different tonight.
Griffin attacking. Takes it off the glass.
And once he got to the 10, I think he was surprised to find himself that wide open.
Well, this early, they should be showing a lot more energy on defense. It's not there.
Floats one up. He lays it in.
Incredible control on that floater. Harden is fantastic at putting just the right amount of touch on these very difficult and delicate shots.
Quickly. Drains it from beyond the arc.
And he likes to get in a rhythm early. Nice triple.
Brooklyn Nets come into this one following a loss to the Golden State Warriors.
Scoring efficiency was an issue in that one. Took them too many shots to get their point.
Yeah, and I think they just seem to be a page behind, a step slower out there all game.
And just over a minute played here in the start of the game. Irving. And the officials call goaltending, so they'll award the basket.
All Irving needs is just a little room to convert, and he's good to go.
And so Griffin will bring it up for the New York Knicks. This game coming on the heels of their win against the Kings.
Yeah, and that one, their intensity on the offensive end was not matched by their opponent. That led to some easy buckets.
Yeah, you know, you can't allow them to get into a rhythm on offense. Once that happens, then you're in trouble.
To the paint. Here's Perry. Toppin pulls it in.
That's exactly the look they wanted, guys. Right guy, right play, wrong result.
Here's Griffin. Scoring his third straight basket in 3 tries.
And this is how you want to start the ball game. 4 for 4 from the field. Seems like they're right on point and can't miss.
Out to the wing. Perry passes to Irving. The Nets working the ball around now. Harden outside, just 4 to shoot, and good, as it just snugs right down through the net.
And early on, they've been nearly perfect from the floor. Just the one miss here on the... And how about just floating to the rim on that slam.
Boy, when he gets up, I mean, he gets up.
Yes, he does. That's what we call helium. Yeast rising and helium floating.
Here's Irving. Scored the basket, his second of 2 attempts.
You know, you got to appreciate the speed of Kyrie Irving. I mean, incredible at finding different ways to get to the basket, and he is not afraid of anybody.
And Griffin, here we go, and the shot goes down. Griffin's got 10 points.
Guys, this has been an incredible performance this quarter. I mean, he's getting the ball where he likes it and wants it and just going to work.
And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn. They're looking for a little bit of redemption in this one after the loss to them here last time.
It wasn't even close in their last matchup, and their offense just wasn't ready to compete at that level.
And I really think they've got to find a way to produce easier baskets. I mean, whether they do it by running in transition or getting to the free throw line, they don't want a repeat of that past performance.
Out to the right wing. The dish to Irving. It's blocked. To the middle. Here's Griffin. Yes, once again, it remains perfect. 6 attempts and 6 hits.
The plan of attack is obvious. Get the ball inside and go strong to the rim.
You know, the defense has been very slow to adapt. I mean, that's 10 straight points now inside.
Here's Turner. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. It's on R.J. Barrett. Hey guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the Knicks?
Really some great drives to the basket here early on for these guys.
The other thing they've had going for them tonight is their passing. I mean, doing a nice job. Plenty of their points early on coming off assists.
That free throw good from Turner. Clark, he's checked in for New York. Conley now comes in for Jay. That's also good, so he hits both free throws. And as the regular season winds toward the playoffs for those teams in the upper half of the standings, Greg, how much are they looking at seeding and their potential playoff opponents?
You know, Kevin, guys won't admit to it, but it's human nature to think ahead, to try and map out that route through the brackets. And you get a sense if you played a team 3 or 4 times, how you match up, what you do well against them, and what are areas of concern for you.
1:02 left to play in the first quarter. The shot's good from Lawson.
And those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten here in the first half.
Outside Conley. Clark outside. Misses the 3. The Nets have gone 6 of 8 in the game so far. Very solid start for them. Turner passes to Irving. Shot clock reset for the Nets. They now take the lead.
Yeah, coach's pet peeve there. No box out.
Those are free points you're giving away. You got to work harder on the glass.
Outside Conley. There's the pass to Clark. Conley against Irving. Lets it go from 14 and misses it off the right side of the rim. Pass to Turner. Here's Birch. Here's Irving. A putback. It's good on the putback.
I tell you what, he was on a mission on that possession. Did not stop working until he got it up and in.
Plenty of offense in this closely contested first quarter of play. Nets out in front as they dominate the last minutes of the quarter on an 8-0 run. Live from Brooklyn, New York, you're watching 2K Sports. Naturally a ball-dominant player, James Harden talked to us about others setting him up a little bit more.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. Of course, I'm going off the ball is comfortable doing. Like I'm able to catch and shoot. I'm able to play off, on the wings.
Giving their offense another dynamic.
And it also helps him preserve some energy for those big moments in the big games.
And it's been a pretty even game here after one quarter of play. And looking at what we've seen so far from the Nets, what do you guys think?
Showing a lot of confidence in their rotation. They went right to that bench when they needed points.
And you know, when the bench is playing such a big role early, that certainly allows the starters to stay fresh throughout the game.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. Setting the floor for the Knicks. Conley out there with Thomas. Then there's Bell. And it's Clark in at the small forward position.
And a jack of all trades kind of player. Bell reminds me of a younger Draymond Green, a prospect on the rise.
Passes to Birch. Back to Harden. Over Conley. Second shot opportunity. The shot's good from Lawson.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
And so it's Conley bringing up the ball for the Knicks. They're off to San Antonio after this game, bringing their show to the AT&T Center. That'll be the second of this two-game road trip. Sampson kicks to Conley. Over Harden. And it falls over the rim and in. Conley's got his first bucket of the night.
And this is Conley's game. Just terrific with that mid-range. The D has to be much more concerned.
Hands it from downtown.
I tell you what, it's almost like stealing to watch how he plays the game from this seat.
And so New York calls timeout. They're first.
And Clark, when you look at the footwork of James Harden, arguably some of the best in the history of this league.
And you know, Greg, he studied the greats. I mean, he loved Ginobili's Euro step and then added it to his own game. Now he's taking that to another level, and he's the one giving out the lessons. But you're right. Got great strength, but the footwork is really outstanding.
Outside Thomas. Here's Watanabe. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. Harden the pass to Watanabe. Shoots. And that one hits back iron.
Boy, that's got to be terribly frustrating there. I mean, with the defense not hustling and he still misses, oh, he wishes he had that one back.
Pass to Holmes. Over Robinson. Holmes can't get it to go in. Nets leading by 3. Second quarter of play with around 2 minutes gone so far. Here's Watanabe. Perry passes to Watanabe. It's rebounded by New York. Here's Barrett. Harden with the defensive effort.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, guys, we all know that there are some people who dislike James Harden's style of play. They're bored watching him shoot free throws. He said, I see how teams guard me and find ways to exploit it. I just outthink the game, and I'm faulted for it. Kevin, that may be, but it's hard to argue with the results. Back to you.
You're right, one of the top scorers in league history, David. Thanks for that report. Timeout called, the Nets. Greg, I think of you in a New York Knicks uniform, legendary arena you've played in. What was that experience like?
Kevin, intense. I remember the first time I suited up in a preseason game. We played the Dallas Mavericks. Both teams went up and down the court 3 times and nobody scored, and the fans started booing. And that's when I knew this is a little bit different. You better bring your A game.
And thicker skin, correct?
That too, yeah. Fortunately, there was no social media or internet back then. Goodness gracious.
Shot clock at 6. And Griffin slams it in.
And he's an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
He is, and he picks the simple one-hand stuff to get the 2 points.
Hey, guys, I know I'm stating the obvious here, but those could be an important 2 points. considering how close this game is.
And we've seen several lead changes tonight. Neither team giving in.
Yeah, and the lead has changed hands, and it just hasn't stayed in those hands very long when it's changed. Back and forth we go.
Back to Griffin. He just cannot miss. 8 up, 8 in. Flawless.
He's a big reason why they have the lead right now. He's made all of his field goal attempts thus far and remains hot from the floor.
That doesn't go in either for Irving. For New York, they've gone 5 of 8 from the floor here in the second quarter. Over 60% shooting. We have got to see that sensational mobile one block again.
Emphatic with the rejection. You've got to appreciate that kind of forceful defense.
To the inside, and Griffin slams it in.
Puts the D in a tough spot when you have a point guard who can throw it down.
He really does, GA. He really does put pressure on him.
And you know, guys, showing how dynamic a weapon he is for this offense, they feed off of that energy and ability to make plays. It gets them going.
And they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing the ball into the paint. And talk about putting some extra on it. That dunk was way over the top.
Close game or not, he's going to finish firm when he gets the space.
Well, I tell you what, guys, the young kids like to say, that's doing too much. That falls into that category. That was too much.
Yep, that one goes.
You allow him to get that close, you deserve to get scored on.
And here's Griffin. He'll bring it up for New York. Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game.
Whoa, just climbing the ladder for that 360. Stupendous hop.
Yeah, Greg, he was sky high on that finish.
And that's what it takes, guys. Athleticism, coordination, and a bunch of confidence and fearlessness.
On its way from Irving for 2. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David. Thank you, David, for that interview. And we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball. We're getting back to the action with the third quarter ahead in this Mother's Day broadcast of the NBA. It's been one outstanding game from Jay.
In that first half, he was a hot knife, and the defense was butter, sliced right through them.
Well, you know what, guys? My question is this. Who's he going to posterize in this half? You know, we've already gotten a number of filthy dunks out of him.
We've got Mitchell Robinson. Irving is out there with Harden. And it's Perry in at the foursome. So that's the lineup for Brooklyn. And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Jay, in that last matchup against the Kings, played superbly. He scored 41 points, and his percentage was impressive, making a number of his free throws and field goal attempts. When you look at the stat sheet, he was mind-blowing. It's hard to imagine he can follow it up tonight with that same level of production. Kevin, we'll see.
Thank you, David. You're right. He was a one-man wrecking crew in that one.
Yeah, he was not going to let them lose that game. We'll see if he comes in with that same attitude tonight.
Yeah, you know, every night's different. They may try to double him, might force him to adjust, or force him to make plays with the pass instead. We'll see.
Up there for Robinson.
Hey, we know Harden can score, but he also has great vision.
The Knicks leading by 3. Back to Griffin. And finished off by Griffin.
Rising and punching it on the young fella. You know he loves having that much of a height advantage. Best chance to get himself on the highlight reel.
The net shooting has just been outstanding tonight. 56% as a team in this game. Post shot. He hits the back iron and sinks the shot. Irving's got 11 points.
You know, Irving is deadly from mid-range and really embraces that shot. He doesn't shy away from it. And I think he can give opponents a lot of problems because of it.
New York calls timeout. Greg, when you played for the Knicks, I always heard that Charles Oakley would cook for the players. Is that true?
Absolutely. Oak was very particular about his food. And I got to tell you, he knows his way around the kitchen. And to be honest, I would never tell him otherwise.
Well, what was his special?
Whatever he made, it was special. It wouldn't matter.
And Brooklyn making a change here. Turner's checked in.
Just rubbing it in their faces with that dunk.
He is never going to take his foot off the pedal.
And that's terribly demoralizing for a defense, guys. I mean, they know he's going to keep coming and coming and coming, and that they may not have an answer for it.
And still perfect in the second half. 4 straight makes.
Griffin goes in, and Griffin slams it in.
Puts the D in a tough spot when you have a point guard who can throw it down.
He really does, GA. He really does put pressure on him.
And you know, guys, showing how dynamic a weapon he is for this offense, they feed off of that energy and ability to make plays. It gets them going.
Free throw drops for Griffin. Here is Harden. He's got 9. And we're just around 2 minutes into the final half of play now. And the wing jumper offline.
But only the first miss of the second half. They come out here with authority.
And then Griffin with the dunk.
And you see the passing instincts Barrett has. Great at recognition out on the floor.
Outside Turner. Here's Perry. Goes back up. He takes it up and lays it in.
His hard work on the backboard really just has given them more opportunities to score.
Inside and finished off by Griffin.
He's going to put that one in his scrapbook. Insane dunk.
And now they're starting to rub it in. Build up a lead, and here we go, baby. It is showtime.
And why not? A little salt in the wound. The more plays they make like that, the more they'll have these guys reeling and on the ropes.
Timeout called, the Nets. Without question, Jay displaying his skills today.
He's really taking it to him inside. They got to find a way to slow him down.
So it's both teams making substitutions here. Now here's Harden. Defense right on him. Down low. Here's Lawson. Knicks with the rebound. 1:53 left in the third. And Griffin slams it in.
Just rubbing it in their faces with that dunk.
He is never going to take his foot off the pedal.
And that's terribly demoralizing for a defense, guys. I mean, they know he's going to keep coming and coming and coming, and that they may not have an answer for it.
Here's Irving. Good for basket number 7 tonight on a not-so-unlucky 13 shots.
And you know what? He's shaking off the cold shooting performance from the first half. Well, you can be the judge of if it's fair or not, but Kyrie Irving has earned himself the reputation of being moody, to say the least.
Yeah, you know, sometimes that sword cuts both ways. Sometimes it's the players, sometimes it's the media, and the media's perception. It's a combination of the two. Clearly, Kyrie can sometimes go off on tangents and come from left field in interviews. I mean, he's not the only player, present or past, that's been guilty of that. One thing you can't deny, though, is this guy loves the game. And it's a matter of continuing to mature and grow as a leader. So I say give him more time, and he'll refine himself in that area.
Puts the D in a tough spot when you have a point guard who can throw it down.
He really does, GA. He really does put pressure on him.
And you know, guys, showing how dynamic a weapon he is for this offense, they feed off of that energy and ability to make plays. It gets them going.
And so far, going for more of an inside presence here in the second half, getting away from the three.
Oh, that was terrific!
Good.
And this sort of awesome dunk is one of the reasons this team is in charge of this game.
Well, there's a swagger out there. You can see it on the court that they possess and are not afraid to show it either.
Boy, and I used to love going up and jamming it down like that, guys.
For Brooklyn, they have been perfect at the line so far, albeit just 2 for 2.
And they've shot the ball well this season in terms of their attempts, 81%.
Those are good numbers for any team. I mean, they can feel extremely good about their free throw shooting percentage this season.
That's good from Lawson. And Brooklyn making a change here. Watanabe's checked in. And so he hits both. New York leading by 8. Back to Griffin. And Griffin slams it in.
Just rubbing it in their faces with that dunk.
He is never going to take his foot off the pedal.
And that's terribly demoralizing for a defense, guys. I mean, they know he's going to keep coming and coming and coming, and that they may not have an answer for it.
Irving looking over the floor for 3. No good. And so it's New York going into the break with a 10-point lead. And they've done a phenomenal job down low. So many of their points coming right at the rim. And don't go away. We'll be right back. Let's take this opportunity now to show you our State Farm assist of the game.
And he sliced the D wide open with his feed. They had no chance to prevent that basket.
Yeah, that's just a brilliant read of the defense. I mean, it was also excellent anticipation of the movement of his teammates before the pass. Just great harmony on all sides.
Fourth quarter of action is upon us. Thanks, as always, for joining us. Nets trail by 10 on the court for the Knicks. We got Thomas. He's out there with Jay. And it's Holmes in at center. Here's Irving. Basket good. Irving's got 10 points here in the second half.
Man, he is just really in a flow right now. That field goal percentage has gone through the roof.
Here's Griffin, and then Griffin with the dunk.
Puts the D in a tough spot when you have a point guard who can throw it down.
He really does, GA. He really does put pressure on you.
And you know, guys, showing how dynamic a weapon he is for this offense, they feed off of that energy and ability to make plays. It gets them going.
He is scorching the D, exploding offensively.
Well, you know when you're in that kind of a zone, trust me, he knows he's in the zone right now.
Sampson, the pass to Griffin. And another one that gives him 51.
Making it look easy. Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
You know, nothing makes a coach happier than selflessness on the basketball court.
Watson, the pass to Birch. He dishes it to Irving. Back to Birch. Powered down after the assist, let him into the lane.
Well, his IQ is one of the best in the league. Irving has a great feel for when his teammates are open.
Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over.
And team strategies closely guarded. One aspect of the game the fans aren't always privy to.
Yeah, typically there's some type of adjustment made out of a timeout. It might be major or it could be just a slight tweak.
Both teams deciding to change it up. The Knicks leading by 7. Quickly guarded by Harden. Back to Griffin. Great pass to set up the lay-in. Griffin's got 53.
And that's just cold-blooded right there. He's taking no prisoners.
Guys, when you're this hot, it's elementary. Let it fly. Keep staying at it.
Here's Barrett. And it goes down 2 points. And it's an 11-point New York lead.
And it's coming easy for them right now. 5 baskets in a row in the paint.
And I say, hey, if it keeps working, go to it. Stay with it. I mean, until the defense responds and provides more resistance, keep making them pay.
Here's Robinson. It's not going to go for him. The Knicks go the other way with it. So the wing on the left. Here's the 3. Offensive rebound.
Rare you'll see him miss such an open look.
Holmes with the steal. And pushing it up. Here's New York. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
And 10 of their last 12 coming off assists.
And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the fourth. They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Timeout called, the Nets.
And the lack of rim protection, top of the list.
Yeah, you know, just look at the numbers, guys. I mean, they are being taken to the woodshed in the paint.
And now, a moment to present the New Balance Player of the Game, James.
And it's been a ridiculous performance in the best sense possible. I mean, everything about his game has been working. And no matter what they've thrown at him, he's had the answer.
And as the star of this team, he knows he's going to be the object of the crowd's anger. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sideline.
Hi, Kevin. Well, Jason Kidd going over the plan with his team for the last few minutes. To be honest, he was fired up. He asked his team, how badly do you want this? Because those guys over there, they're going to give it everything they've got, which means we have to do the same. See if they can match them emotion for emotion. Kevin?
Shot to stop the run. That one's in there. The New York lead is cut down to 13 after the bucket is good from Harden.
Harden's ball handling is absolutely off the chain insane. I mean, easily carving up the defense. Superb control. Got it on the string.
All right, well, look at how the points have been generated so far. Scoring breakdown for the Knicks.
Guys, their play close to the hoop has been great all game.
Yeah, but also give them credit for the layups they've had tonight after strong drives to the basket.
Both free throws good from Holmes. 1:49 left in the fourth quarter. Harden dishes to Irving. Harden outside. Now the pass to Robinson. 6 on the shot clock. Irving kicks to Harden. Wants to get it to Robinson and does.
Yeah, nice silky finish on the alley-oop from the stupendous feed.
That sequence couldn't have been executed any better.
Guys, I hope we get to see a few more of those.
And here we go. Brooklyn fast break. Harden's got the ball. 2 points. That one goes.
Remarkable speed in transition from Harden, sprinting ahead of everybody, putting himself in a great spot there.
Holmes finds Griffin, and then Griffin with the dunk.
Late in the game, up big, they continue to attack.
Yeah, I don't think you want to get loose and sloppy or ease up, but it is time for them to start using that clock a bit.
And clearly, we will not be witnessing a spirited comeback tonight, albeit as exciting as that would be. This was an excellent all-around performance for the Knicks.
Look, their big advantage was points in the paint.
And they found a way to pound the ball inside. And that was working all game long.
And what's been a tremendous year tonight, another example, and they'll push their amazing win total on the season to 68. An outstanding, outstanding season we've watched this team play.
And they will walk out of here feeling really good about themselves today, guys. A big win over a conference foe they'd split their previous 2 games with.
They've got one more game left against them, and there's no doubt they'll use this as a jumping off point to take another game off them later in the year. At least that's the plan.
And you know, looking back at all the contributions tonight, it was a really phenomenal all-around game for James.
Well, the defense just couldn't figure him out, and he continued to put it to him.
It's intercepted. In transition, here come the Nets. It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game. Shot's good by Watanabe.
It's always great to get into a rhythm, but do it when it matters.
Now they're playing with urgency. They could have done it much earlier, before the game was out of reach.
And credit the whole team. It was a focused, concerted effort to put this one away.
Yeah, what a time to put the hammer down. Any hope of a comeback diminished.
Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. Now here's Griffin. And good, there's another. That's 62 points, 62.
Amazing. A remarkable performance from him so far.
So no problem for New York as they get the win. And in the win, a comfortable win in what was, I think, a pretty hostile environment.
It really was. You know, it's never going to be easy on the road, but they didn't have too many problems with that tonight.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for being with us. So long.
I got a lot of chickens, always had a pot to mama child was tripping. Pops was on a proper mission, now I got some distance. Really hard top, no drop edition. That do labor, cooking, mop the kitchen. Couple mansions for car garage and all foreign whips. Foreign with me that I'm all. And I ain't looking pouring. Hoop, met them all. I got a lot of chickens, always had a pot to mama child was tripping. Pops was on a proper mission, now I got some distance. Really hard top, no drop edition. That do labor, cooking, mop the kitchen. Couple mansions for car garage and all foreign whips. Foreign with me that I'm all. And I ain't looking pouring. Hoop, met them while I touring. I got my eye on them. I'm really poppin'. I know they mad, but they can't stop it. I'm in my bag. I just got the phone, got it blacked out. Yeah, look at what I did to it. I just hit blew a couple bands. Yeah, look at what I did to it. Can't take it with me where I'm going. Might as well blow it. Look at what I did to it. I just the phone, in the life. Yeah, look at what I did to it. I got the pull up in foreign though. I know she going though. I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.